Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching the review Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed. And today we're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, The Fourth Closet, the graphic novel version. And yes, I already talked about the original book, and I'm not going to go too much into detail, except for little scenes here and there that's interesting in the graphic novel version. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis, so you at least know what's going on. But if you want like the full detail of everything, then watch my other review on the original book back then. So, yeah, this book basically follows up on the previous book, which is the Twisted Ones, that ended with Twisted Freddy grabbing Charlie, our main character, and shoving her inside himself, and all the spring locks going loose, and her basically dying. And the very next day, while everyone is grieving over her at a restaurant and stuff, Charlie shows up with no scratches or nothing, but she shows up. Everybody runs up to hug her and stuff, and John is the only one that's not swayed. He's kind of like, hey, that's not Charlie, which of course is a big mystery of like, well, then who is she, you know? So the book here starts off a couple of months after the fact, and John has been avoiding seeing Charlie and stuff with her friends, or well, I guess both their friends, or with their friends convincing him that, come on, dude, you gotta talk to her sooner or later, man. You're hurting her, you know, by not seeing her and stuff like that. So while that's going on, and John has to kind of come to terms with what's happening and everything, we got Circus Baby's Pizza World opening up, and kids are once again going missing, and Charlie herself is acting very suspicious and going after people, and all this creepy stuff going on. And let me see what else. They finally do discover that this Charlie is not Charlie at all. It's actually Circus Baby that's taking the form of Charlie. And there's a part where John and Jessica actually find the real Charlie, and they gotta hide her from the fake one, because the fake one's obviously looking for her and stuff like that. So there's a kind of like a double thing happening at the third act. I guess you want to call it the third act, where on one side the other characters like Carlton, Jessica, and Marla are going into the Circus Baby's Pizza World to rescue the missing kids. Well, they're kind of rescuing each other, but they run into the kids, so, you know, might as well rescue them. But they have to avoid Funtime Freddy and Mangle. While on the other side, we have the final confrontation of both Charlies, and we can find out, of course, the big reveal of what exactly is Charlie, and also more about Circus Baby and how she came to be. So, the first thing I want to see about the book that I was very curious about was one of the possibly most violent and most darkest moments in the entire like trilogy of this series here, and that is the way that Circus Baby killed Aunt Jen. And yeah, because I mean like he went after Clay, but Clay just got knocked out or whatever. But she just flat out killed Aunt Jen, and she just grabbed her in the original book, I should say, grabbed her and ripped her guts out. I'm like, the fucking hell, what? Like so much hatred, just ripped her guts out. And that's a bad thing, because I don't think Aunt Jen knew. Like the last thing she saw was Charlie looking at her and grabbing her and stuff, and, you know, choked and stuff, and she's trying to get the words out that, you know, I'm sorry for all the stuff I've caused and whatever, and she gets her guts ripped out, and that's like, holy shit. And I was curious what they were going to do here. Were they going to do it off panel? Were they going to do it like in silhouette or something? Like sometimes some kind of books do where the characters are just like dark outlines, so you don't actually see it, but you kind of know what they're doing. That kind of stuff. But no, in this version, I guess they keep it kind of tame, because, you know, for better or for worse, the Freddy franchise has become kind of a kid franchise. Can't get too extreme, you know. So, in this one, you know, Circus Baby posing as Charlie just grabs her and snaps her neck. And of course, that's not really a fun way to go either. But either, whatever. But it still beats getting your guts ripped out. Now, the only thing that kind of makes it confusing is when they go back to the house. There's a part where Charlie and John go back to the house. Aunt Jen is just lying there in a pool of blood, which doesn't make much sense because, you know, just snapped her neck. She didn't do the guts thing like in the other one. So that was kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. Another detail that's kind of funny is when the guys were kind of staking out this second date that John had with not Charlie, where they were trying to find out what's going on or what's her plan or whatever, and there's like, you know, checking out the situation from afar. Carlton was actually checking out Charlie, And it was kind of funny because one of the people were like, dude, you're supposed to be, you know, checking out the situation, not checking out her rear or something like that. I forgot it was like checking out her rear, checking out her butt, something like that. But the book just skipped it. The book just said like, oh man, she's hot, which I think Carlton did say, but he skipped out that line. I was kind of curious how they're going to put that in there, but I guess he just skipped it. You know, again, makes sense. It's for kids and stuff like that. Another thing is that Afton does appear in the book. And in this version, they took the Springtrap stuff off him the best they could. So he's like now this very frail, like weak man in a chair and everything. And the book really went into details on, you know, torn flesh and blood and some metal parts still on him because they just can't be removed or whatever the fuck. And here, you know, they kind of toned down the details. So, you know, that's another difference there. And another thing also is, Afton is working or experimenting on this big mess, this big melted mess that's supposed to be like Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy that are all melted together into this thing that is still alive and still aware. That's very fucked up. But the book does describe it like this weird monstrosity that you don't know what it is. But here in the book, to make it easier, and I think to kind of give the characters one final hurrah, this is like the end of the trilogy after all, it looks kind of like a mangled animatronic, but it has very clearly the heads of, you know, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy on it, kind of melted together, but still clear, so it makes it a bit more obvious to the reader and stuff, and that's what they're supposed to be, and things like that. And one thing I do gotta say, the art was top-notch in this one. I felt that in the last one, the Twisted Ones, it was drawn very, very rushy. I think most of the detail went on the actual Twisted One animatronics, but like, I mean, the humans look better than they did in the original, the what was it called, the Silver Eyes, but they still needed some work done, but everything else was pretty rushy, and I was very disappointed in the part where they got into the underground pizzeria type place where they had the Twisted Ones, because there was so much like detail in the book, and the graphic novel version kind of rushed it, but here they went like full stop. All the characters look awesome, all the, you know, in-game characters look the way they should, with good detail and stuff. Let me just get a quick example here. Yeah, this is a part where you actually see Circus Baby as Circus Baby. In the book, she actually has three forms. She has the in-game form that you don't see that much, ironically. The, like, more adult woman version of Circus Baby. Like, I guess she's an adult or something. And also not Charlie, where she imitates Charlie. So it's very good detail. Let me see another part here. Yeah, here's the part where she's flipping out. Also very good with the facial expressions, especially Circus Baby, because she's just fucked up. She's fucked up and insane, man. It's just a bunch of stuff. She's a whole bunch of emotions. She's emotions of abandonment, of rage, of hatred, whatever little memories that are left of the little girl that got killed and possessed Baby, which of course is kind of like in the game, so you already know about Elizabeth Acton and all that. I don't have to go too much into that and stuff like that. So it was very good things. A couple of things I don't remember from the book, because it's been a while, is that in this version, whenever Circus Baby opens up the faceplate, she has all these extra like surgical saws and weird hooks and blades and shit coming out. Like she's gonna fucking, I mean, yeah, she's gonna fuck you up, man. She's gonna carve you and slice and dice your fucking ass. And I don't remember that in the book, but holy shit, that makes it scarier. Yeah, the jump scare is scary, but then seeing all that shit coming at you, oh god, you know what I mean? And then there was a weird scene where the kids were avoiding Mangle, and for a moment they thought that Mangle's gone or they're safe or whatever, when suddenly there's like lights and stage and a curtain, and when the curtain gets pulled, you actually see Funtime Foxy, like, you know, regular unmangled Mangle for a moment before like all the parts start, you know, flying out and trying to grab you and shit like that. So that was pretty interesting. I don't remember that too much. But anyways, the biggest benefit of the book is also the ending, the big reveal, because it just works out so much better in the book, and well, you know, in the graphic novel than the book. The book goes in with a lot of, like, I don't know, a lot of metaphors, a lot of stuff. And the dialogue is pretty much the same, but I just think that they could have done a better job describing stuff, and there's so many things I had to reread to try to understand the full extent, you know? Like, I was watching the game theories, the MatPat game theory videos, and he was using all these details for his theories, but a lot of them were kind of like, I don't know, I don't remember them being like that explained in the book. It's like a lot of figuring out you got to do, you know? But here, now you're actually seeing it, it just makes way more sense. You see a more visual image. But the story is very complicated, you know. It's like Henry, the guy who, you know, designed Freddy's Family Diner and all that, the original Bonnie, Chica, etc. He had a kid named Charlotte, and unfortunately she died when she was still a kid. She never got to grow up. The big reveal is that the Charlie we know was an animatronic that he created. So first he created the little Ella doll, and that was like, I guess, her toddler version or something. And he then started creating like the more teenage version of her, and then the adult woman of her. But that was like Circus Baby. Like it's complicated, but oh god. So basically, what I understand is yeah, he made different robots. I'm just gonna say robots. They're way too advanced to be animatronics. Different robots in different stages of Charlotte's life, and I guess whenever Charlotte got too old to be a certain one, they would move her to the next body and so forth and stuff like that. And like I said, there's lots of imagery. The wife like just left because he was just, you know, flipping out. He lost all sorts of reality. He's like, look, you know, she walks and talks like, you know, like a real girl. It's Charlie. Charlie's back or whatever. But obviously that's not Charlie, no matter what you can do. And the wife just left and everything. And then we see images like him, you know, like I guess just like how he used to hold like the real Charlie out in the park and stuff. He's holding Ella instead with a kind of, you know, crazed look in his eye, like he's in denial. And then there's also like the agony and rage and stuff. It's kind of like when he made Ella, the Ella version, the toddler version, like all his agony and stuff was in there, and that's why like I guess the girl cried a lot because she like fed off of that. That's how somehow the emotions or whatever made the thing come to life. Don't know how that works, but okay. And then the teenage version was very confused and stuff. That's why our Charlie has all these like self-doubts and all these things, because this was when Henry was also doubting himself and doubting shit, this is right or whatever. And then finally, when he made the adult version of Charlie, by now it was just rage. He was like enraged with himself. He finally figured out, this is fucked up. What am I doing? No matter what I do, like the real Charlie is dead and all that kind of stuff. And that's when he committed suicide. And he also left like Aunt Jen a note or something. It was to Aunt Jen, something about that don't let them out. And especially the fourth one, don't open the fourth closet. Don't let that one get out. And I'm thinking because of the rage. So that's why this version, that's why Circus Baby is so fucking violent and stuff. And Circus Baby, of course, you know, on her end, it's kind of weird though too. So Elizabeth Afton is William Afton's daughter, and I don't know why. So I think what happened, oh god, the book's really weird. So in the video game version, Circus Baby only looks like the one we see in the game. And in the video game version, Afton made her to capture kids or whatever, so he always told her daughter to stay away because she's designed to kill a kid or something if there's only one kid in the room. And the girl didn't know that. Elizabeth went to see Baby, and once all the kids left and stuff, Baby had ice cream, and when she got closer, grabbed her, killed her, and somehow possessed the animatronic. But in this version, and I just realized why. When I was reading the book, I'm kind of like, well, why is it? But now that I'm kind of thinking right now, and now I understand. So Afton, I guess, busted in there and stole the adult Charlie and started redesigning her or whatever to Baby for I don't know what reason. But it was the same thing. He was still telling Elizabeth to stay away and whatever. So when Elizabeth went to see Circus Baby, this time instead of the one from the game, it's like the adult woman, you know, like shut off or whatever. And I guess that's when she grabbed her and killed her and all that kind of stuff. But that was interesting. When I first read the book, I was like, well, why was she drawing like the adult version? What the hell? That's not like how it is in the game, even though it's not exactly a game adaptation. But then I realized, oh, because he didn't make her from scratch. He just kidnapped Charlie and turned Charlie into like Circus Baby, which again makes no sense why he would do that. I don't know. But and still, like, from the story, a lot of things still, like, I don't know. Like, Afton wants to become immortal, but the way he's doing it, like, it just makes no sense. Like, he has a kidney removed, and the kidney gets put into the animatronic mess, but, like, how does that make you immortal? Like, what the fuck? And then the whole thing with taking fucking molten metal, the what do you call it, the remnant, which is basically molten. It's basically molten, haunted, animatronic metal. You know what I mean? And injecting it into Carlton. And again, he injects fucking molten metal into Carlton's heart, and that somehow doesn't kill him. I don't care if even the drop is in there, man. That's gonna fucking kill you and just burn all your fucking insides. You know, like that makes no sense in the real book or in this book, you know, but, you know, it has to adapt it, right? But those are some of the things that don't make sense. And of course, Afton's entire thing is wanting to be immortal, but also wanting to find out exactly how Henry made Charlie alive, and to kind of replicate that and stuff like that. It's not like it's his whole goal, but the way he's going about it is so weird and everything. And then another thing is, I do want to mention, I didn't, again, there's another detail that I don't remember exactly in the book, but apparently Charlie has Ella inside her, and I guess that's what keeps the soul or whatever makes Charlie alive. And it's interesting though, because Baby actually grabs her and yanks the fucking doll out, almost like a Sub-Zero Heart Out Mortal Kombat, just since the heart is the doll. And it was like the first time that you actually see Charlie's like actually having wires and shit coming out of her, because again, like, you never really see her as an animatronic or whatever. She just looks so human-like, you know? And like I said, Circus Baby needs like illusion disc or whatever, but Charlie as is looks human. So it's kind of like the first time I've ever seen her with actual wires coming out. That's something that makes her, you know, it makes the whole she's a robot thing more realistic, since you see things like that. Again, I don't know how it makes sense. I'm not going to go into too much, but again, Charlie is a girl with memories, nightmares, you know, she eats and drinks and stuff, and, you know, she has self-doubt and depression and, you know, survivor's guilt because, you know, why did they take my brother and not me? And she has all these emotions like a real human. It just makes no sense. And not only that, but the skin and all, you know, she looks so real that she's been fooling everyone for years. You know what I mean? Like, again, like I'm saying, Circus Baby looks like a fucking weird robot. She needs the little discs to confuse everyone, like to make everyone see her as a human. But Charlie looks human as is. I don't know, man. That's like super beyond advanced science. You know what I mean? So anyways, what can I say for my review? I enjoyed the book a lot. It took me back to memory lane with this series. I really love this story, and I feel bad that it ended. I know they got other books now that are just random tales, but they seem very gruesome. Like, what the fuck, you guys? Like you're making all these like body horror type gruesome things in these books that I just can't, like, I don't know, I just can't get into. And also, it's like a whole bunch of weird shit that's got nothing to do with the games, you know what I mean? And now they're making new ones based on the security breach. I think it's called Tales from the Metroplex or whatever, from the Pizzaplex. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I like the actual game. The actual game story is everything is normal and these guys just got hacked. But now they're going to make all these stories where, no, there's other weird shit, more murders, and I think it kind of ruins it, you know? I like this story because it's like a 3-part story. The twist at the end is just very weird with Charlie being a robot, but like, you know, it's like its own original story and stuff, but they were grabbing elements and characters from the other games. You had the characters from the first game, you had Balloon Boy and stuff from Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2. Technically speaking, Mangle's also from Part 2, but you also had Circus Baby and Funtime Freddy from you know, Sister Location. So I would have been curious, like, how the story would have kept going if there was more things going on. Like, I know they can't keep bringing Afton back despite what the games keep doing, but, you know, like, I would have been curious to see, like how would Ballora fit into this story, or how they adapted, like, I don't know, I guess you can't really adapt Ultimate Custom Night, but, like, the book version of Pizza Simulator with the big trap and trying to bring the characters and burn the building down and stuff like that, like, I don't know. Or even Security Breach would have been interesting because since it takes place more in the future, you know, like, you would have been seeing, like, adult versions of Carlton and Jessica, like, what are you guys doing now? Now it's full-grown adults and stuff like that. So I've been kind of curious to see how they would have gotten involved in Security Breach and making sure that nothing shady's going on and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like, I wish the story would have somehow kept going, but obviously Charlie's like the driving force, and her story pretty much ends here and everything. And of course, Afton is gone for good, like fucking finally, like, you know. So I guess he just can't keep going with this. But yeah, I like the story. It was pretty cool. It gave me a bit of bittersweet. Like on one side the reveal was like, what the fuck? But on the other side it's like, oh man, it's over. And that kind of thing. But yeah, I love the series. Love the book. Awesome book. Definitely get it. Like I said, the best part is the art. It's just so much better this time. And again, maybe because the books were better descriptive, they really did a good job describing like the jungle gym and the what do you call it, the mirror maze and all the different things that are inside Circus Baby's Pizza World. So when it came to drawing those scenes, they did a good job of drawing the characters going around this crazy pizzeria full of killer robots going after you and stuff like that. So, anyways, guys, I'm Mark Rodriguez here. This has been a review Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed. And we'll see you next time for whatever else we'll be covering. Catch you later.